Hi, I am Ali. I will talk about the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is held responsible for the disappearance of countless airplanes and boats in the ocean between Florida, San Juan, and Bermuda. This area is one of the most heavily sailed shipping lanes in the world, with vessels cruising through daily for ports in the Americas, Europe, and the Caribbean islands. So why do people think there are unexplained mysteries going on in this vast triangle of ocean? Over the years, there have been a huge number of disappearances that happened in mysterious circumstances, supposedly falling beyond the possibilities of human error, equipment failure, or natural disasters. Many paranormal theories talk of a suspension of the laws of physics. For instance, the first unexplained event occurred in the 1950s when the story of Flight 19 came to light, detailing a group of five U.S. Navy bombers on a training mission. The flight leaders was reported to have said, "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. The water is green, no white." It was also claimed that naval officials said the planes flew off the Mars. So the multiple airplane and boat disappearance over a patch of ocean count as unexplained mysteries. Skeptics say no. They point out that such indications have been greeted ambushes. The ships have sunk in many places. And then the Bermuda Triangle is responsible for more appearances than any other area of ocean. Thank you for listening.
The Earth will pass into a new astrological phase, and something dramatic will happen. The world ends. Unfortunately for Maya fans, there is no real life evidence to support the idea that the alignment of vivid from our earthly perspective, the alignment of planets to emissions distant star constellations with from our Earth perspective and anything to do with day to day change in your personal life. It is about as scientifically reliable as reading your horoscope. Real Mayans scholars report that there is no evidence to show the Mayans ever made any kind of dynasty preferring morally. That calendars keep track of the passage of time. They don't predict the future, so Mayan calendar, like all calendars, simply had to end somewhere. Not only does it, but it begins in a new cycle, just as your calendar ends on December 31 and begins on January 1, like this year. While your life may come to an abstract end anytime, any day without warning, there is a very little you can do it. One thing is for sure, our society, like all civilizations before us, is geared to postulate our end of the world. My stays with gusto. Thank you for listening to me.
Hi, I'm Mahmoud. I will talk about Stonehenge. Stonehenge is one of the greatest unexplained mysteries of the world. It's certainly no hoax and is probably the most important prehistoric monument in the whole of Britain. When you visit Stonehenge, you will find yourself driving for miles through rolling hills and countryside until suddenly you catch sight of the bizarre structure. There is an eerie feel to the area around Stonehenge, and for thousands of years it has stood silently giving away its clues as to the meaning of existence. Excavations have revealed that Stonehenge was built in four stages. First, a series of holes were dug around 300 BC for religious ceremony. Then, more than 1000 years later, the most dramatic stage of building that took place. Huge bluestones from mountains in the Wales were lugged more than 240 miles to the Stonehenge site. It really wouldn't have been hard to find rocks closer nearby. The stones were then set up to form an incomplete double circle, aligned perfectly with the midsummer sunrise. The third stage in 2000 BC saw the arrival of the more stones transported by land from Marlborough down some 25 miles away. Finally, after a further 500 years had passed, someone felt the need to rearrange the massive wedge bluestones into the familiar horseshoe and circle we see today. One of the great unexplained mysteries of ancient man, the meaning of the Stonehenge is still not clear today. Without a time machine to go back as we may never know. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Murat Ali Kıştan. I want to talk about the pyramids, which is one of the seven wonders of ancient world. As unexplained mysteries go, the pyramids of Giza in Egypt really are something special. We still don't really know how the Egyptians built the largest pyramid of all, known as the Great Pyramid of Cheops, some 5000 years ago. Remember, this was even before the invention of the wheel. The Pyramid of Cheops is the size of a 40-story building and covers an area big enough to fit 10 football fields in it. More than 2 million stone blocks were used to make the pyramid, each weighing 5 tons and cut from a distant limestone quarry on the other side of the Nile. Experts reckon it took 400,000 men some 20 years to complete. Engineering feats aside, there are still some reported unexplained mysteries going on at the Pyramid of Cheops. In the 1940s, a French hardware dealer spotted some mummified animals exactly one-third up the height of the pyramid. The remarkable thing was they showed no signs of decomposition. He deducted that the pyramid's shape was responsible for preserving these creatures. Later, a Czech radio engineer conducted a series of experiments in which he placed a brand new razor blade inside a 1 to 1000 scale model of chips. He aligned his pyramid on a north-south axis exactly like the real thing. After getting 50 shapes from the razor, he was forced to conclude that it was only getting sharper from being inside the pyramid. It took him 10 years to obtain a patent for this device, which he claims still has no scientific explanation today. But it is a genuine unexplained mystery or an embellishment of the truth. This is another way that stories become legends which, because they are so famous, people believe there simple must be something to it. If pyramid power were a real, observable effect, it would surely have been commercialized by now. Thank you for
Hi, I am Yunus. I talk about Bigfoot to you. He is big, he is here, and he started his own show. Uh, Bigfoot is well famous for spooking the bejesus out of the hikers and hunters in North America. Scientists consider Sasquatch to be a result of folklore, mystification, and well, a lot of hoaxes. However, many people still believe this humanoid creature exists around the world, just like the Yeti of the Himalayas, one of the most famous unexplained mystery in the world today. Bigfoot has been described as a black creature, some 6 10 feet tall, weighing more than 500 pounds, and crowded in dark brown or reddish hair. Witnesses give him large eyes, a heavy brown red and crest heads, much like male growly footprints, all all currently belonging the Bigfoot are 24 inches long. Is Sasquatch really one of the great truly unexplained mystery of the world? Some what disappointingly the most famous footage of the at Bauchek, California was shot down by a man called Bob Hieronymus. Years after the event, he's claiming he wore a pea costume for the filming. It's also virtually impossible that a prehistoric big pebble and a pale creature could exist, simply because the breeding population of such an animal world have to be so large that many more tiny things will be reported. What's more, with so many Bigfoot running around, we would have found some physical evidence by now, such as fecal matter, hair footprints, and even numerous corpses and skeletons. Nevertheless, Bigfoot cousins, the Yeti has a strong alleged presence in Himalayas region of Nepal and Tibet. Teams of science continue to seek out photo evidence which is also thin on the ground, yet many locals accept the reality of breeding Yeti population as a read. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I am Ömer. I want to tell you about UFO. The first reported UFO sighting happened in Texas in 1878, when a local farmer reported seeing a large, dark, circular flying object flying at wonderful speed. Another famous early sighting occurred in the United Kingdom in 1916, when a pilot reported seeing a row of lights that rose and disappeared into the sky. After UFO was popularized by science fiction in the 1950s, the number of sightings went through the roof. Theories to explain the paranormal phenomena range from the good old. Meanwhile, UFO conspiracy theories center around Area 51 in Nevada, about 19 miles north of Las Vegas. The site houses a large airbase that was selected in the 1950s for testing of U-2 spy plane. It has since become America's testing ground for secret, black-bucket aircraft before they go public. Thank you for listening me.